All right, so next to New Year's fever, summer is in the top spot when people hit the gym. But in this heat, you have to be safe. So here to just tell you how to be safe and maybe have a different kind of routine that you normally do is Mr. Marvin Gordon. Not for the first time he's here on 10 Minutes to Your Health. Well, go on.
Hello, Neville. I'm glad to be back with you guys.
Yeah, man. Was I right a while ago when I said maybe you have to kind of change up things a little bit?
Oh, yeah, definitely you would want to change things because the weather is very different. It has become hazardous, so you wouldn't want to continue as you have been doing so far. You have heat stroke, which is the most serious form of heat illness that will affect you from exercise, but you wouldn't want the lesser illnesses either, such as heat syncope, which is the general fainting that people tend to get when you exercise in excess heat or for extended periods of time in heat.
All right, we have some headlines here, so we could go through them. Heat cramp first.
Yeah, that's probably the mildest. I mean, it will be painful, but you will feel cramps, usually. Stomach areas, the arms, calves, those muscles, they will feel stiff. You will feel cramps in them. You're not in the red there, but it's still something you'd want to avoid.
Heat cramps.
Heat cramps.
What is heat syncope? Is I pronounce it? Syncope?
Syncope is basically fainting. I mean, we have all seen somebody who has fainted due to exercise in the heat. Again, not too serious. It's usually from not enough blood getting to the brain, and we all know how to deal with that.
Well, let me ask you, Marvin, if Neville was to faint now, what am I to do to save him?
Well, you don't want to put him in a position where we can get blood flow back to the brain. We don't want to surround him. So something that tends to happen, especially in group training environments, is everybody rushes around the person. You want to give them enough space so we can have air flowing so they can cool down. And you want to put them in a position where they can get blood flow back to the head. So either you can get the legs up or you can get the head down if you can get them on a chair.
Is that because, not because of what she asked, but you get that because you're not hydrated enough? Or what?
Yeah, hydration does have a role to play, but fitness level and the level of exercise which you are doing also play a role. So it's not a one-off thing. There are several factors that will affect it.
Heat exhaustion.
Heat exhaustion, all right, here we are moving up the food chain. Essentially, we are moving from the fainting and the cramping, which will, from those symptoms, if you don't act, it will progress to heat exhaustion. Or you might even get to heat exhaustion without feeling any cramps or any fainting. So you really have to look out for any weird feelings. You might feel dizzy, you might feel faint, but not actually lose consciousness. Or you might feel nauseous, you might see vomiting, that kind of thing. Look out for those symptoms, and while it's not always recommended that you go to the emergency room, I personally would recommend once you experience any symptoms, see a doctor. Get yourself cleared before taking part in any activities, especially if after getting out of the heat, getting into maybe a fan, air-conditioned room, getting some hydration, you notice that the symptoms are still there, let's say an hour later. You definitely want to see a doctor.
Right.
Heat stroke.
That's the most advanced version. Here you are, the most distinct symptom here would be the temperature. The person's body is literally overheating. So if you touch them, you will feel the heat. The skin will be dry. You might see symptoms like confusion, delirium. The person seems to be really out of it mentally. You definitely you definitely want to be getting to the emergency room at that point.
Seriously,
definitely.
And how bad can it get if you have a stroke? Like, can you end up in? Can it lead to death?
Yes,
it can.
It can.
Oh,
I'm a football coach. I think you know that. And the half is 45 minutes. When it gets really hot, the referees are asked to give us a water break, maybe after 25 minutes, 30 minutes. In regular training, some coaches go 2.5 hours, 3 hours. In regular training in this heat, outside in the sun, dry time, how often should you break for fluids?
For fluids, let's say every 20 minutes would be enough. Because that wouldn't break the flow too much, but at the same time it would allow you to get back, let's say 8 ounces of water that is being lost.
Which is the next question. So for that fluid break, it's just too little gulp and you move on, or you sit down.
Basically, because at the same time you don't want to overdo it. And you also don't want, if you are going for those extended periods, you don't want water alone. because you don't just lose water when you sweat, you are also losing.
Right,
so a sport drink, preferably one that's not too sugary, because we know some of them tend to get sugary, and you can use that and replenish.
So that 20-minute break shouldn't be only water, or you're...
No. Ideally, if you are training in the heat for long periods, water alone might hurt more than it might help. So you'd want something that's going to put back the other nutrients that you're losing.
Yeah. We started looking on the other way, because you told us what could be tough, and we started looking at how you can help yourself.
So now we're looking at how we can prevent.
Right.
Drink water regularly.
Right.
One of the things that we always push at Fit for Life is safety. And we tend to have this, I don't know what to call it, but people tend to not think of hydrating until they think of exercise. So, I'm heading in the gym now, I'm going to get some water. And no, it doesn't work like that. You have to be in that condition where you give your body the fluids regularly so it can regulate all of that properly. So when you go in the gym, all you're doing is topping up.
In other words, if I have a game today, the kids should have been drinking from yesterday.
Yes, you should be drinking your regular water every day.
Right through.
Every day.
Well, what else can we do? It says keep track of the weather.
Definitely you want to do that. I mean, nowadays every weather forecast will give you an idea what the temperatures will be like, what the sun exposure will be like. So you want to pay attention to that. Let's say you have a training session planned for 10 a.m. and you see that it's going to be extra hot tomorrow. You might want to reschedule that, or you might want to change the activity, take it inside. Whatever it is that you can do to find some kind of advantage against the weather, you will want to do that. Yeah. So you will have to keep abreast of the weather.
I suspect a lot of gyms either have the open windows, or some might have fans, or some might even be air conditioned. Are you talking about the heat only outside, or this could bother you if it's hot inside also?
Any heat. If it's hot inside, it's just the same. And even more so because you might have less airflow. So you might find you get hotter if it's hot inside.
So you could have the same things could happen to you indoors as opposed to outdoor.
I think we should talk about breathing. You know, Marvin, I used to do Bikram yoga, right? The hot yoga in the hot steamy room. And I remember my my trainer, we call them, would say, you know, the heat is seductive, and spoke a lot about how to breathe as well in the heat. And it's a part of your mindset and how you breathe. How does that help with working out in the heat? Well,
whether or not you're working in the heat, you would definitely want to practice breathing. We tend to overlook it as trainers because when you go for a 1 hour class, you can't spend too much time talking about breathing. You definitely want control in your breathing. You don't want the breathing to be controlling you. You want to be controlling the breathing. So at all times, you are in control of that pace. And if you control that pace, you might find it even improves other things like your endurance and so on.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Clothes matter.
Definitely. Light clothes. Nothing too heavy, nothing too tight.
What do you mean nothing too tight? You don't see all those girls on Instagram. Every time they go to the gym, they take a picture and they clothes tight. Are you saying loosen up a little?
Definitely, because that will affect your ability to cool down.
Yes.
Because, I mean, by now we all know sweating is how we cool ourselves when we're hot. When you're in that tight clothes, it affects how fast that sweat can dry and so on.
Is yours is considered loose?
Yeah, man. It's loose, and if you look, it's a really light material. So
buy
here
a new
comes
outfit.
right.
We have to go. What you brought? You're going to give me one exercise?
Well, last time we were here, we did joint health. And since we're looking at cutting exercise times, I figured we could explore a quick routine that we can do that's short and easy on the joints.
Well, quickly, about 20 seconds.
20 seconds, all right. So we're looking at about 4 exercises, and we're doing 4 reps of each.
Yeah.
And we want to hold that for, let's say, 7 sets. So we're doing all 4, take a 20-second break, and we go for 7.
Okay.
So we're starting with squats, and we're going down and up.
Yeah.
We're going for 4 reps.
Yeah, give me
then we're switching to this one.
Next one.
Next one. And on this one, we want to be careful not to turn it into a squat. All right?
What you working
And
there?
final-
What you working there? Oh, keep one.
Final one is a power knee.
Yeah.
All right?
All right. Always good to see you. Where's Fit for Life?
Fit for Life. We are looking at September for our new season.
All right.
So you should be seeing promo starting next week for that.
All right.
Can I get a free workout? We do now?
Marvin Gordon.
We only do free workouts. We don't go for
10 minutes to your health. We'll do it again next Thursday.